Good morning. Thanks for everyone for coming. Ms. Schaefer is here from the Anti-Defamation League, which we present our banner in just a few minutes. I want to talk to you a little bit first, but I wanted to thank all the students for coming. Ms. Schaefer, I was telling you a little early, these are some of our student leaders that were nominated from several different teachers for a variety of reasons, whether they are student council presidents or class presidents or students within the classroom that have a voice for themselves and for other students, and they were nominated in a short period of time from the teaching staff, and they gave them great explanations of why. And the major piece was that, they know what they want, they know what's best for Lenape High School and for the community, and they speak on part for themselves and for others. And when we first started up the No Place for Hate 3 years ago, one of the big pieces for us was that we would advocate for others that couldn't advocate for themselves. And we also had a piece that we would, educate the entire community of Lenape High School on our diversity, and we are diverse in a variety of ways here at Lenape High School, whether it's socioeconomic, ethnicity, academic status. We're extremely diverse in our building and different interests, and I felt that's what makes Lenape Lenape. We're a microcosm of our society, and we felt when we saw the No Place for Hate and the Anti-Defamation League coming out with a program that could try to help us celebrate some of these things and educate us, we wanted to get involved. So our two main goals were to educate our students and staff about the diversities that we have, and also to celebrate the diversities that we have here at Lenape High School. And through the years, we've come up with several different programs to do some of these things that the students have come up with, or we found online or stole from other schools, or from the No Place from Hate program. And I wanted to share a few that we did just last year. And so that you know this is that, to get the No Place for Hate designation, which we have the past 3 years, you have to have a minimum of 3 activities. We usually do about 8 to 10 activities within the year because we feel as though it's productive for our students and staff to be able to educate and celebrate, some of the things that we want to do. And some have been better than others. And today, like I told you the other day, I'd like to get your input on some of those programs. And I identified 4 major ones, which we have across the room, which we're going to work on. That's going to be really the meat and potatoes of our presentation today. I want your feedback, and I want your honest feedback. Because if we're not getting that, then we're just doing this just for the banner, and that's not the purpose of this. I want students and staff to feel comfortable to come here to Lenape and get an education or to teach our students, and not feel as though there's other pieces in that are in the building that are stopping or interrupting your instruction. And if we could try to minimize that or stop that, and educate and celebrate the diversities, we're going to be much better off for it. One of the first programs that we did was the ID posters that are all throughout the entire building. And I gave these to all the students the other day, but these are throughout the entire building. And as I told you, it was just more to interrupt, an inappropriate, unnecessary comment from a student or from a staff member, to be honest with you, that felt like it was addressing some type of distinguishing characteristic. And it was some comments that we came up with from No Place for Hate from about last year and a year ago. We tried to update of, hey, that's not cool, right? A comment of, it's not cool. It's not a joke when someone's getting hurt. To start that conversation when you didn't know what to say or what to do, or you kind of felt a little awkward, we were giving you that springboard to start that conversation, to stop that from happening. That was why we put the ID posters all over the building in every single classroom. So that was important. That was something that we felt pretty proud about. And students and staff had said, I used some of the lines. But the piece that we're going to do today is, I think we may need to update that, and you tell me, like, no one says, I'm not okay with this. Or, I don't think that's a good idea. If it is, that's fine. But if there's something else you feel as though should be on the poster, we're going to try to talk about. We're going to try to come up with some ideas today, and then we'll make that into a poster, in the next month. Another program that we did is our Week of Respect. All right, and it's actually the Week of Respect right now here, and we're doing some different activities. But one of the main ones we did last year was we had James Clemente come. If you remember this, all the students saw this, was from Tyler Clemente that took his own life, committed suicide in 2010. He was a Rutgers student. He was homosexual, and a student, his roommate, cyberbullied him by videoing him in his room, and then put it out to a lot of people on campus. And it was obviously emotionally just disturbing for Tyler, and he ended up taking his life. Well, we had his brother come, and his brother explained, the things that Tyler has gone through, and that he was not going to die without having a message. And James was sharing that message with all of us. And Jack Watson did a really nice job of guiding that entire interview in front of our entire student body to give perspective to our students about this incident. Okay, and it was a travesty, so that wouldn't happen again. So it addressed the homosexuality component of it, of sexual orientation, It also addresses cyberbullying and making wise decisions and never knowing what some comment that you make or something, an action that you do would impact you and all of us for years and years to come. So this is just another picture of our Week of Respect last year. We also have something I'm extremely proud of is our Upstander lessons, which Jake Demery started several years ago, and Ruth and Caleb Demery that are here today really have taken on their own. But we came up with an idea. I actually had a chance to go to a anti-bullying workshop, and they had the 7 skill sets of being an upstander and what that is. And we were coming out with a program trying to tell kids, stand up for what is right, be an upstander. But I don't know if we really knew what that was. What does it mean to be an upstander, and how do I go about being an upstander? And the first interpretation that we received from a lot of students was that, well, if someone's being picked on, I need to jump in and I'll fight that person. Well, we started looking at that. That's not what we want. We need to give you a different skill set. So Jake Demery, a graduate from last year who's at Swarthmore, came up and said, I have some ideas, and then 2 of us met, and he came up with a lesson plan. And what we do now is we teach all of our incoming freshmen at Camp Lenape and or during the Week of Respect to all of our freshmen or health and phys ed classes of how to be an upstander. And it's a skill set of 7 different things, and it's just of redirecting. We're just saying, hey, why don't you, if a student says something inappropriate to another student or picking on another student, hey, why don't you walk to lunch with me? Why don't you sit with me at lunch? A variety of a lot of different skill sets. So we're trying to educate all of our students. And right now, we've gone through every single one of you have received this training in Lenape High School. All four grades have done that because of the work of Jake Demery and also Ruth and Caleb. We will possibly change this in the future, something to consider when we're reviewing this. 1, I think we may have to update this lesson a little bit. And 2, do we do it during Camp Lenape, or do we do it only during Week of Respect, because we're starting to double up the lessons because we had so many students attend Camp Lenape. So something to think about when you're reviewing this one as well. We have our Upstander poster, which some of you are on the poster and have been on the poster, that we identify, teachers, coaches, advisors can nominate some students, and all of the students that are on the Upstander poster are also have to go through the Upstander lesson again to make sure they're aware of all the skill set again as a refresher. Last year we also have Mixed Up Day. This year would be a challenge to do Mixed Up Day. Right, with Lunch and Learn, you guys are all over the place, but in the past the past 2 years we did Mixed Up Day where students were, directed or asked to sit with other students and engage in different conversations. We had some topics of conversations on some of the tables, and some areas it worked out better than others, right? The South CAF, not so much. North CAF was a little better, and we just started moving students last year. Like, all right, you're going to sit over here, you're going to come over here. We had all balloons and stuff like that, but we did a Mixed Up Day. We received that from the website Tolerance. And then Unite Day was a day we all wore orange, which usually we don't really wear orange at Lenape. I see the Princeton shirt. I like the Princeton shirt. Okay. But our school colors are red and gray, Ms. Schaefer. And this orange school across town, which is one of our rivals, wears orange. So we don't usually wear orange, but this was an exception on October 22nd of last year. It was created from the Hero Club of Uniting Against Bullying. So students wore orange. And yes, that's my orange suit. But one of our founding pieces here was the March for Martin, which we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King, and it was established from a Lenape student about 13 years ago. A junior came to the principal then, I wasn't here, and said, I think we need to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement that he has prospered here from. And so what we've done in the past is that we had the music play after school. We had the speech play after school, and students marched to it. 2 years ago, we changed it to make it even more integral part of here at Lenape High School, and we did the march during our last period of the day. We had all the students stay in their classes. It went on the TVs. We had the cameras throughout the entire building from Lenape TV, and we had student leaders involved at JRTC walk through the building as a speech played over top of the PA system. And then it concluded with a presentation in the auditorium. But we did it during the school day to have much more of an impact and get more students involved. But I think it could be better. I think we can get more students involved and maybe advertise this a little bit differently and really maybe do more education within our classrooms, possibly to be incorporated within the March of Martin. We did it in some of our history classrooms, but I think we could do it maybe in English classrooms or health classes throughout the entire day of the day for March of Martin. So that's one of the programs you're going to review as well. We also instituted 2 years ago a random acts of kindness, where doesn't have to be, the greatest of things here at Lenape High School of you interjecting maybe somebody being bullied, but it was opening a door. helping someone that needed help. If a teacher's walking in the hallway and carrying their books and they can barely, they're stumbling, and you walk them and say, "Can I carry something for you?" That was a random act of kindness. It was endless. There was no definition to the random act of kindness, but teachers were nominating students, and we felt as though that was another piece of developing, and educating our staff about these little small things make up the big things here at Lenape High School. So those were some of the programs that we did last year, and a few others, some redefining beautiful and things of that nature, but those are some of the main programs that we've done here at Lenape for the past couple of years. But I think we need a little bit more energy into the No Place for Hate, and this is where you're going to come into play of what we can do to get better, okay? We have a great thing going here, but we can't rest on our morals. We can always get better. So today, after Ms. Schaefer speaks to all of you about her role within the Anti-Defamation League and Lenape High School as a No Place for Hate school, we're going to have 4 or 5 of you go up for Week of Respect, 4 or 5 go to March Martin, and we'll just rotate around the room, and then you can give your feedback on the piece of paper. We'll discuss it briefly, and then we'll look to infuse some of those things into our new programs for this year. Okay, so you absolutely will have a say. Okay, does anybody have any questions for me? No? Tron? No? You good? Well, I know Ms. Schaefer's on a very busy schedule. She's visiting all 4 schools today for their designations in Lenape High School, in Lenape District, okay? So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Lindsay Schaefer, the Project Director of the Anti-Defamation League.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate the warm welcome. I am here from the Anti-Defamation League and No Place for Hate to designate your school a No Place for Hate school for 2015-2016. The Anti-Defamation League is an organization that's 102 years old, and one of the things we do is fight bias and bullying in workplaces, schools, and communities in the region and across the United States. No Place for Hate is one of the educational programs within the ADL, and it's an anti-bias and anti-bullying program, but it's also more than that. It's a program that celebrates diversity and promotes respect for differences, as you saw last year and as you worked toward last year. So, No Place for Hate, we say that it doesn't matter what race, religion, what ethnicity you are, what languages you or your parents may speak, your abilities or disabilities, or your sexual orientation. You all deserve respect for your differences, and you should respect others for theirs. And you have done some amazing projects last year. You did some amazing projects that really showed that you understood No Place for Hate, and you were working toward that in Lenape High School. So I really appreciate that, and I want to congratulate you. I also challenge you to do an even better job this year. I know you have a new class that probably came in this year. You have new students in the school. It is part of your, I say job, but not really, but we encourage you and challenge you to take those students under your wing and help them and teach them about what No Place for Hate is about, so that you can make Lenape High School an even better high school. And I also say to all the students that I speak to that No Place for Hate is not meant to just be a program in school, but also out of school as well. So whether you play a sport, wherever you go after school, on the weekends, if you see an instance of bias or bullying, use what you've learned from No Place for Hate, and challenge that bias and bullying. So with that, I would like to congratulate you on becoming a No Place for Hate school for 2015-2016, and I look forward to being here next year to give you another banner.